Hi, I'm Sasy Scarborough.
And I'm Whimsy Winx.
And today we're going to talk about demos. Just everything we can possibly think about demos. And just let it be known that Whimsy already got me off recording. She didn't actually get me off. I mean, she... oh, my gosh. I'm dying. This is what she does to me, and then I'm unable to talk, and I thought that we would just go straight into recording and I'd be able to get through it, and then I just like Freudian slipped all over the place, apparently. We are not that close. Let me just, before there's any rumours about the Sassy Whimsy relationship, there have never been balls. They just have not been balls in our relationship. Balls, yeah. Might have to change the rating of this podcast now. All right. So we're going to talk about demos, and my first one, and Whimsy and I both have opinions on this, but the first thing that I want to point out is 1L demos. Now, we're old. It's been established for a long time now. We're actually very old in Second Life, and we actually come from the time where people actually did charge for demos. That was actually a thing. People in the past charged 1L for demos, and it was not appreciated back then. It was it was something that was discussed in groups. People would get really angry about it. It was a thing. Now, people charge 1L for a demo, have a vendor system that refunds the 1L. But if you're old like us, you have this instant reaction to that. Like, it's instant. It's like, oh, no, I'm not doing it. And you will actually walk away. And I remember years ago being on the search for boots with Fia, and he finally found a pair of boots that was so like his perfect boot, and they were charging 1L for a demo, and he walked out of the store. He refused to buy them just based on that. And this is it's not a money thing, it's just a principle thing. So what the suggestion I have is let the customer know that the 1L is going to be refunded. Demo, refunded 1L, or a site, something that lets people like us know that there's no fee, because it could literally mean you walk away. And I find myself often going, nope, not doing it, I refuse. And then I go, wait a minute, if I really want the item and I pay 1L and it ends up not fitting me or not being what I exactly want, I get off cheaply. I get off by, really? You've just ruined that sentence structure for me now, Wiz. I can't say get off anymore. So I am actually able to walk away knowing that it didn't work out, rather than walking away going, 1L. But then I pay for it and I get refunded and I feel like an idiot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a segment of the population that does micromanage these minor transactions. Like, right. You'll hear somebody who complains about them because if a number of stores are doing it and they go to an event, and especially if there's a large number of them, then now you're out 25. That's a cheap gotcha item. Right.
Or it could actually mean the difference in paying for an item. If you have 300L and the item is 300L and you've got to pay 1L, you can't buy the item if it doesn't get refunded. But it's this, is it going to be refunded or are they going to keep it? And it's a horrible sort of feeling. Or there's just the ones that will just go, nope, not buying into that. But they have a reason for it, the ones with the vendor systems, because it gives them data. And that's what you were saying. You know, if they're seeing
a high number of demos being purchased and like a significant smaller number of sales, maybe they can think about their item. But are they considering that data? Is it just like, oh, this person picked up demos, and if they ever come back, or I don't know, sometimes there's drama, and they'll go, look, no, you only purchased the demo, so,
Right.
here you see things about it.
Well, the thing is too, it's like if they're not looking at those statistics, it is a lot better to just make it a buyable object. It is just a lot better to set it up for 0L to buy, because a lot of people setting up these vendor systems, they may be new to creation in SL. They think that the vendor system is the only way to go. They're doing it because that's the only way the vendor system will let them set up a demo. It has to be a 1L. It can't be 0L. So yes, they're refunding it, but they're missing the point that they can just have a single purchasable buy option for a 0L in a regular prim. No scripting needed. So is it better to just have a customer freak out about the 1L and think that you're greedy? Because like I said, it used to be an actual thing. And we would have content creators come into groups and say things like, I spend time making the demo. So they actually felt really validated in the cost. Like these are the ones that were keeping the 1L. But that's not how that works. Like some people were saying, oh, 500 people try my demos a week, and I should get money for that. They were looking at that earned 500 linden. But again, it's supposed to be a demonstration, a try on of the item. It'd be like going to a department store in real life and being told that you have to pay $1 to try it on, because at the end of the day they have to dry clean it.
Yeah, see, I've always thought, why not make an item, select a color, and then maybe put your store logo on the front and charge $1, and now somebody can wear it around like they own it. It's a regular shirt you can wear. It's advertising for your store, because people go and they buy Hollister t-shirts.
They can't do that with everything now. They can't do that with every item in their store.
That's true.
And people don't like
branding
like that.
Background.
Well, you got to remember too, we're old enough to remember a very popular skin store back in the day. It doesn't exist now, but I'm not going to name names. They had a 1L skin that was supposed to be for new residents and people to try their items, but the adult regions, upper and lower, were their logo.
Oh, I remember that. In fact, I still have that in my inventory. And
people wigged out, but people weren't saying, well, hold on, I got this for virtually free. That was it was sort of like, if you want to scratch off off the logo, you have to buy the full product.
In fact, I have an alt who's actually wearing that right now. And you can't tell, except for she can't, if she wanted to go in about her business without exposing that, but like my health.
Well, in a way, it was like free modesty covers, so I was all for it. I was like, not even the fact that it was only 1L. I was all for the idea that I couldn't be actually naked. So that's our take on the 1L thing, is to set up a buy option for 0L. You can do that. You don't actually have to have every prim hooked up to a vendor system. And then it's less scripts in your store. If every demo has a script in it, that's just more scripts. If you are going to do that system, have some way of letting people know, even if it's just a sign at the entryway to your store. We charge 1L for demos, but the 1L is refunded to you. I would really, really appreciate that, because like I said, that instant is just a horrible feeling to have. The next one was unpacking.
Oh gosh, you better make it unpackable via HUD already in a folder.
Right. I don't want to unpack a demo ever at all. I hate it. It makes me crazy. I don't like going to my objects folder to find the item that was the demo and then to unpack the demo. I mean, Whimsy and I can go to a store and grab 40 demos at once, and then we've got to unpack them.
Yeah,
to try your items on.
Forget it. Yeah,
that's a reason to lose focus and be teleported away somewhere else to do something else.
You get distracted.
Right. And also if I'm not already invested, like I'm not already in there starting to, I would actually leave and just take the demos with me in my objects folder and maybe I'll get
Yeah.
around to
I
them.
mean,
Maybe I'll buy 16 other things somewhere else and never see those demos again. It's just,
yeah, that demo purchase is part of a sales process, and you're in the
Mhm.
middle of a sales pitch. So
Yeah.
you need the customer right then and there, not to walk away, but to continue to hear your spiel and try on the demo, think they look good in it, try out some colors, check out some of the features, and
We'll
be
go into that
completely
stuff.
sold and make that sale.
We'll go into that part in a second. But the
Yeah.
other thing is too, is if you can buy the demo for 0L, like it's a buy option, what happens is the contents will appear as you're buying it. So if I go to buy that and there's been no information in the vendor in the ad, and I see it's not going to fit my body, it's missing the items altogether, or something's going on there, I can see that instantly. I can stop. Doesn't
Yeah.
even need to go into my inventory. But if I buy it and then I unpack it and then I'm disappointed because of something, I'm upset with you right now. I'm like double upset with you right now because you made it work. I don't want to work to try on the item because I want to spend my money with you. So unpacker that unpacks immediately. If I have to unpack it, make it unpack. But it is preferable for it to just go to a folder in your inventory than to have to unpack anything at all. It shouldn't be an extra step. That's the way we want to put that. I know a lot of people are putting like Facebook and Instagram and teleports to their store and their marketplace link and all of those things on those unpackers, but I just want to try it. You can do that in the purchase part, but not the demo. Because and then worse is if it takes a little, if it's a laggy event and I've got an unpacker HUD on that doesn't automatically unpack and it's just for the demo, and I've seen some people will have like this tiny box where you're supposed to click that part of the tiny box and you're supposed to click directly there to get the item, but the HUD itself is taking up 2/3 of your screen. And you're lagging and the thing's grey and it's still grey and it's staying grey and I'm clicking like a crazy person with my mouse trying to find where it unclicks. Again, that's time. That's making me frustrated. So everything just gets blown up.
Yeah, and not only that, but you might be in an event where they've turned off running scripts. So now
Well, yeah,
it's not going to deliver.
I've
So just
actually
put it in a
seen
folder.
that too. Yep. I've actually seen that too. And also not everybody knows this, but a quick tip for people that don't is if something doesn't have an unpacker script in it and it's a non-scripted area or something like that, you can attach a box to your hand or to your screen, HUD screen, anywhere you want to. And if the item is copyable, you can actually right-click, edit, go into contents and drag the demo item into your inventory or the item into your inventory, whichever is the case. So there is that option, but again, it's a process. And if it's a demo, I shouldn't need to do all that. Now, Whimsy has some things that she thinks are good for like good to include in a demo. What are they, Whims?
I do like a landmark in a demo because if I, for whatever reason, I didn't pick it up at this, like if it's at an event, I would like to know how to get to your main store. Like, sometimes I come in, I grab things real quick, I leave, and now the event's over. How do I find you? I do like that if you have like if there are special features, like here are the, you can change different styles or whatever you can change on an item, it be represented in the demo because maybe I'm I'm looking at a particular color or pattern. I want to see how large that is. I can see on your vendor ad that, you've included a clip of leopard print. I need to know if that's giant size leopard or a small leopard because that's going to make a buying decision.
Leopard is a very important thing.
You don't see me in leopard very often, but it is,
it's a crucial factor. Yeah. But that's true. Including, like she said, if you're including these little tiny t- oh my gosh, the word is just like completely eluded me.
Patterns or
No,
textures.
what like a swatch? Okay, let's call it a
Yeah.
swatch. That's not the word that's escaping me though, and I'll get it later. But you're including a swatch. You're not saying that the rest of the swatch goes off into some sort of crazy thing. And I think the demos, the HUD should be included. Like it just really should. The HUD should be included. People should be able to see it, because just because you like the lilac and the taupe in the ad, and it looks great and that's wonderful, and you've got this little HUD and whatever, if you don't actually see that there's too much shading under the armpits, or there's too much going on in the creases in the thing, you know, you really need to actually see that. And I've seen some demos where there's like practically no texture at all. It's just all the word demo.
Yeah.
And
or you'll like buy a shirt, like today you're wearing you've got this lovely outfit on, and you have a very specific nude that's also kind of beigey. Now if you were looking for another item to go with it that's going to complement in that color,
right,
you're going to be hard pressed if you go to an event or a store or wherever, and you're buying, you're demoing items to go with that outfit, and they don't have that color represented, but they sell it. And so you take the leap and find out that there's a difference between what the designer has swatched on screen and how it is represented in within, you know, as a wearable item. They might be off.
With the bonus colors thing that has become a trend now in Second Life, the bonuses are often just a swatch. Thumbnail. That's the word I was looking for.
There
thumbnail,
you go.
Just completely,
Swatch words.
If they've only got a thumbnail of the bonuses, and the single colors that you can just buy are all shown, and they look great and everything like that, but the demo, it's just showing me the blue, or it's just showing me the whatever, I can't tell that, yes, that exact beigey, nude, pinkish color that I'm looking for is available. So if it's not represented in the HUD, and then not only that, if you show me in a HUD those bonus colors and I can see them on, I'm fat packing.
Yeah.
Like, why
that's
would
what
you
I did.
want
I went
to
to
give me that incentive?
Yeah, I went and I couldn't figure out the hair I'm wearing. I couldn't remember what color I purchased from this store. And I grabbed the demo and was relieved to see that they include all of their color HUDs in there, because my inventory indicates that I either go for that sometimes I buy blondes and sometimes I buy browns there. And I wasn't feeling the browns because their browns sometimes have an auburn in them. So I'll avoid the redhead pack and I'll get the browns. And I couldn't make a decision because they were just a little bit off from what I was just feeling right now. I just I didn't want either.
Well, the textures
and I tried out
change.
a new HUD. Yeah, there's that too. And so I tried out their a different pack from them and purchased. But if I hadn't had that, I would have been hard pressed to pick one. Now sometimes I can't make a decision, I just buy the fat pack. But you know, I just wanted this in one, one color specifically. Right.
And that's the reason. And it's also like, we've had cases, I remember so specifically, this is so specific to me. I remember going to Celestial Studios, right? This is so old. Like, you have no idea. So I went to Celestial Studios and I tried on a hairstyle, and she used to have a demo texture that she used for hair in a very rare occasion that she had any. And it was like this purpley, and I have this aversion to purple, but for some reason this hair texture just looked amazing. And every time I would go, oh my gosh, I want it in this color, and then remember that it wasn't even something she sold. And it's sort of like, you really have to be careful how you present that, and show me everything, because if I unpack a demo or I get a demo and you're only showing me the purple and the ocean blue and the green or something, or worse, I've seen this before where each size will come in a different color, and that's how they'll present their demos. But I'm not going to put on a different size. I'm going to put on my size.
Yeah.
So how do I see that color? How does that work exactly? Which takes us to our other point, which is about how you represent the demo and the demo prims. So the other day I had to actually teleport Whimsy back to where we were shopping. She'd already left. And I had to say to her, please look at me and tell me that this demo is just not happening. The demo had demo prims, and I'm all for demo prims. I have no problem with demo prims. But the demo prims, there was one in front of my face, there was one at the lower section of my body, and there was one in the midsection of my body. And this was for a piece of clothing. Now, I didn't know what the clothing looked like. Not because I couldn't see the piece of clothing, because I kind of could when I could navigate around the prims, but my face was obscured. So I'm not seeing how I look in the clothing at all. Like, I just can't see what I look like in this clothing. My hair is blocked. Everything was just blocked, and it was so disjointed. And it makes it really hard. I mean, the whole idea, you know, I've always said to people, you want to be that girl. You want to be that girl that's in that ad who looks fantastic and whatever, if that's the kind of image that the store portrays. But I don't want to be that girl. I want to be me. So I want to see what I look like in something. Whimsy has a completely different separation. As long as she can see it on me, as you know, we've discussed that before, I do all the demoing in our relationship. That's fine for her. But I can't have my face obscured from it.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest sensation to not be able to see your face when you're trying on a demo. Even if I'm bald and doing, it's still a really strange sensation. I have no problem with the things above your head or to the side of your body, or I don't even mind the rings if they're small and narrow, but don't obscure the person's face. That's their identity, and that's how they recognize how they're going to look in something.
Yeah, they want to see how they look in it, and and they can't see it.
Right, and if they've got some sort of fancy hairstyle and they're trying to create a look, if they can't see the pieces together, then you've lost. It's too hard. It's just too hard.
I'm all for someone protecting their product by putting a large demo sign above their head or something, as long as it's not obscuring anything to help them make a decision, because that person's, well, okay, I have seen newbies walking around in demo clothing like nobody's business.
I think it's adorable.
It's amusing. I don't know if they realize,
but they could be just shopping to shopping. Like I will go to it. Exactly. Yeah. Because we have this, like if I'm at an event, I will walk around to the event in the demo of the last item. So I could be trying on a demo in store C and get to store F before I want to try another demo, but I'll still be wearing the demo past the other stores. And I have no problem with that. But I have this really weird respect. Well, it's not weird. I actually just think it's respectful. I don't teleport to stores with demos on from another store if they're like-minded stores. Like, I have no problem teleporting to a store for a ball gown with a hair demo on because I want to try and find a ball gown to go with this hair. Then I have no problem with that one.
But you're going to do an updo to another store looking
I'm not going to go from one hair. Yeah, I'm not going to wear a hair demo from one store to another hair store. I'll take it off before. But I can also at the same time understand that quick decision to TP and it's still on your head. I can understand that. I just take it off when I land, when I arrive. Exactly right. So I can understand new residents just kind of like they're in that zone and they're just doing their thing and they're learning about everything. So I have no problem with that. And like I said, I think it's quite adorable and good on them for trying all their options, because that's the best thing to do. But I've seen people talk about that they won't do this or they don't make demos available because of being able to take photos in, like they make sure that everything's obscured because they've heard people take photos in demos. If somebody was willing to take a photo of my item and it was in a beautiful photo and they told people where the item came from, that's just free advertising. You didn't even have to give them the stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm okay with that. I'm you know, there's well, even in the past, I myself, I think it was like my third blog post, I blogged a skin in just the demos because it wasn't for me, but I still liked it, and I thought people should hear about the store, so I just blogged it that way. But I didn't walk around with it on.
Back in the day, people don't know that history of blogging. We all did that. I know it's looked down. So many. It shouldn't be. It's because people don't understand. Blogging used to actually be to communicate information. It wasn't just to say, I'm hot, look how hot I am.
It wasn't a status thing. It wasn't, it wasn't a thing. It was just hey, look at the stuff I found. Yeah.
Correct. We were salespeople. We were freelance salespeople, consultants for brands. We would actually show products. We would buy things or we would show demos. I've shown ads for male products just because the male products were so hot. I wanted to show my readers these were available. So I asked for permission from this is things we did back then, or skins with all the demos. I might have bought my own tone in one, but I showed the tones in all the demos so that people would know that they could go running off because that tone is the one. There's nothing wrong with that. Another thing is people don't know this, bloggers didn't used to get skins and hair and stuff like that like we do now. Like that was just not a thing. Those were your own investments. So showing your readers what was available as a new product, demos were the way to go, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, if you're deciding how to demo your content because you have some fear that somebody's going to take a photo of it and show the public, you need to get over that, because whether it's 3 people that see it or 3,000 people that see it, that's potential customers, and it didn't cost you anything. You didn't give the item to them. You didn't. It's only a benefit to you as a brand to get your stuff out there, and they've liked it enough to do that. You know, it doesn't mean that they didn't like it enough to buy it. People have different budgets. It's just how it is.
And there are people if you're somewhat new to blogging or you don't have someone,
it's a great way to start.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic way to start.
But yeah, it's been done before, and how you showcase that item could make, maybe a decision and somebody to send more items, review items to you.
Yeah, and I like Pop Fuzz, long gone. There's probably only 1,000 people that would still know who that was. Pop Fuzz had a store. She was in a show. I didn't know her yet. And there was a big fashion show. That's what used to happen in the olden days. And there was, many stores in this show. I thought her items were wonderful. We're so old.
I'm remembering my first one. Yeah.
And I contacted her and I said to her, and now again, I've always had money to spend in SL on whatever I wanted. It wasn't a case of that. It was a case of I was blogging 2 to 3 times a day because of time zones and the amount of hours that I spent here. It was a lot of stuff, and I wanted to show a lot of content. But she had some releases that were not my style at all. And I IM'd her and I asked her if I could have her ads because, again, I wanted to show that this collection was available. And she was so shocked by that. Yeah, collection. Oh, my God, I miss collection.
Oh, my God. I miss collection. Oh, my goodness.
We're having a moment.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what it was like. We used to wait 4 months for one hair.
Yeah. Yes, or you'd wait and because they released last spring and your favorite store's it's fall and you know it's coming.
Nobody knows. And then you'd be at the fashion show and you'd be waiting for an hour for it to be set up, and then suddenly you'd be at 000. And you didn't know. And you thought you were sitting there and everybody's telling you you're in the water.
I was so mortified trying to set up my first one.
Oh my god! I used to go back shows and type so much in chat that I remember being at one and Callie Klein and some other people IM'd me and they're going, "Oh, thank you so much for talking." And I was like, "What? Do these people think they're at church?" Like,
I know.
Why is nobody saying anything? I can understand that you can't really clap, but like I was typing applause, so moved, so impressed.
Lovely, love the link. Oh, I love the cut on that. Oh, the colors are fantastic. Oh, I like the drape. Yeah,
exactly. And you work it, girl, because everybody knew all the models by name, and you know you do the thing that you do. Oh my god! And nobody had AO. Oh, by the way, just to little boys and girls, all AO were comprised of static poses. I know. Actual movement was not a thing. Okay, like we've gone way off track. But anyway, so fear of taking pictures, demos, that's thing. Showing as much as you can in the product itself. Timer demos. I have a confession about timer demos, right? Okay, so somehow I missed the telegram that told the whole world that there was such a thing, right? And this is 2 incidences that I've had with timer demos. Now, I'm not opposed to them if the information is communicated. So the first time, being, you know, behind the scenes as I am with different brands and many brands over the years, I've gone to an event, I've tried on a demo, I've looked at the demo, my brain has gone, what is wrong with this demo? And I've looked at the demo again and I've tilted my head and I'm looking at it and I'm saying to Whimsy, what's going on? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, this is the demo. And she's like, wait, what? There were no prims. There was no demo on it. It didn't say demo anywhere. There was nothing above my head. Like I was full on freaking out. So there's me on to the creator. Oh my God. You've put your item in the demo and oh my God, all these people are getting free items and you've got to, Nobody had told me there was a thing, right? This was a thing. So I like wigged out completely thinking that, as happens, a mistake was made and the non-demo item got put in the demo pack. And then, of course, the demo disappeared because of all the minutes that it took for me to have this nervous breakdown. And then I went, okay. So I aimed the creator back and apologized for my craziness. And I would love to say that only happened one time. It has happened twice because I think there was like 2 years between and my brain sort of forgot the first time. And then the other situation was that I didn't get communicated to. I was at I was at an event, but I had early access, thankfully, just for what happened. I tried on the demo of this item and real life took my focus and I came back to myself and found myself naked in the middle of an event. And like I've literally jumped in the ocean in Second Life because my swimsuit didn't res quickly enough for my liking. As I've mentioned before, I am so freaked out about that kind of thing. And there I was, and I had no idea how long I stood there naked. But yeah, a timer demo literally took itself off me and I didn't have clothes on, and that was a thing. And I think that that's a really bad idea.
I don't like it. It's just an extra script to deal with in whatever situation you are in. And what if you just didn't know?
Take longer. What if you just take longer? I mean, there are people out there that will demo with everything they have in their inventory. There are people that are budgeting. There are people that want to make sure it works with their RP them and their regular M and their fashionista M. They want to make sure everything works the way it does. And whether it's 5 minutes or I think they're 5 minutes usually, that's just not enough time for some people. But I know that they're
if you're
not
trying it on with
they can
shoes
go
and
back.
hair to see
Right.
if this is your look, if you're, if this is really what you want to do, because
Well,
I
you
have
could
done
be
that
tuning
where
in
I'm
as
trying to find shoes or a dress that go well together.
right. And in your inventory, that's 3 hours.
Yeah,
That's
it really is.
serious.
I need advance notice so I can
Mhm.
find shoes.
Mm-hmm. And so, you know, as we mentioned before, somebody could be putting on that item and then teleporting somewhere else because they want to try it with a skirt, or they're teleporting stuff, and then it's suddenly gone, and then they have to go back to the place, grab the demo again. And I've seen people that if they know there's a timer, they will grab multiple copies of that demo. So is that a win? Is that doing anything for anything? I mean, I understand that it means
Better not be charging for it.
I'm guessing that what they're doing is they don't have to connect prims. They just throw a script into the regular version, but it doesn't, I don't know, there's something that's just a little lacking there on thinking about how the consumer's actually using it. So timer demos, I'm not saying I'm against them. I'm saying that it's really important to communicate that that's what's going on. Even if it's a sign, again, at the demo that says, this is a timer demo. Because if I know in advance I'm about to put a timer demo on, I can right click, take copy, paste, and then I can try on the copy. And if I run out of time, I can do it again and again. I don't have to go back to the store. So that's just something to think about in terms of how that goes. So that being said, just be really clear, we're not saying all of this stuff against stores and what they do with demos. It's really important as a consumer to demo everything before you purchase, even if the store is an established store, even if you own 99 of their 100 items already. It is very important to make sure that something fits, or in Whimsy's case, make sure that you have somebody that's willing to try everything on for you. Because also, I mean, I haven't ever come across this, but I have seen it said, is that if you have a complaint about an item after the fact, the creator can have a look at their transaction history and see that you never demoed the item. You've just gone in there and grabbed. And depending on what the actual issue is, they may have the right to just say, too bad. You know, like, yeah. I mean, if it's, oh, it's not the shade of pink that I thought it was because of your photo. Well, the demo's there and you could see every color, blah, blah, blah. Versus, you know, because win light settings, things like that. I mean, it's happened to you, right, Whimsy? You've seen a picture, yeah, and gone running to get it because it was your favorite shade of green or something, but then when you demoed it, the green wasn't exactly the same.
Very much so. And I'm actually kind of glad that stores aren't using that as a as part of like a no refund policy. I'm sorry, but our records indicate that you know, grabbed a demo and you purchased and you were an informed purchase.
Right.
But oh wow.
I mean, stores in SL don't really they don't generally refund unless it's a double purchase or anything like that anyway. But if you're there to kick up this big stink about it's not having a thing, you can't say that afterwards because it had a demo and the demo showed it didn't have a thing. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're doing it, because we've also had a case of when Mesh really first started, there were a lot of people buying everything. There wasn't even standard sizing yet. People were just making random things in random sizes. And I would see a lot of people saying, you know, oh, it doesn't even fit me and I hate that store and da-da-da. And I'd be like, well, did you try the demo? And they're like, oh, no, I never demo. Right, it's your responsibility. But the other thing is, too, is that if the item is not up to caliber and you bought it, they don't deserve your money.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep paying into that, because that's what will happen, and we've seen that happen with some stores too, is where, and believe me, I've actually had this conversation with somebody that I had respect for as a creator, and that went way out the window after this conversation, was that when I let them know that something was wrong with their product, they told me that they had a deadline and they had bills to pay, and I was the only one that said anything. And so that was the end of that. But if they keep getting the money,
kidding themselves,
they convince themselves that what they're putting out there is acceptable, and so you're paying into that sort of thing. If you don't demo, you buy the item doesn't fit, or you don't like it after all, or whatever, and then you don't actually say anything because you also blame yourself for not trying the demo. They're paying their utilities. They're able to do all those things, and they don't have to be better riggers. And mistakes are mistakes, and I'm so grateful that 93% of the situations that I've ever had have been fixed. But demos are really important. If they're provided, use them. If they're not provided, that's another thing. If there is no demo, walk away. Seriously, just don't even, just maybe let them know that you would have purchased had there been one. And also there's some really weird vending systems now too, where you have to click it and then it has a drop down and it'll ask you if you want something and you can get a demo. But I found so many of them where I click the demo button and it says no demo available. So I don't even know what's going on there. I don't know whether it's a case of things have been set up wrong or anything. But yeah, I just, it's really important from both sides of things. We're not just saying all demos should be like this, and this. It's also the customer's responsibility to try the demo and let stores know if there's things that would help you have made the purchase if you're not going to make the purchase based on what the demo was. As we said already, it didn't include all the colors available in a HUD. It only included these versions. It didn't let you know if it was going to be possible to wear them as separate pieces or as joined pieces. It doesn't have alphas now for bakes on mesh. All of these reasons, let people. Yeah, communication is key.
They're there for you to try a new product. They're there for you to see if it's going to work for you. So definitely, give stores a chance, but also give yourself a chance in determining whether or not this product is for you.
And the more demos you try, the more self-aware you become as a consumer, because you will see, even if you end up putting something on and you realize, oh, it's not exactly what I was looking for, you might go, wow, I've seen materials before, but they always looked really plasticky or shiny, but these materials look amazing. Is this how materials are supposed to be? You get a better perspective of content overall. Even if it's not your cup of cocoa, just, try demos just for looking at stuff. It's window shopping that you wear.
In most cases free, so,
Yeah, exactly. Look, I haven't come across a 1L demo where the 1L was actually kept for a long time. It's just that, like I said, we have a reaction to that. So if a store isn't aware, because they don't come from that same time period at all, if they're not aware that people are actually reacting to the 1L purchase concept, it's important to be aware of that.
Very much
so. What else did you have, Wims, on demos and our thoughts on demos?
Just that, this is representing your store, so make sure that everything for that item is in there properly. And, everything from body sizes, features, etc. If it's at an event, that's cool to add the event landmark as well. For people who do have to leave or have to cut it short because they have to, log out and they're going to come back and continue. And that's pretty much it.
Another reason to not package your demos. if you have staff or something like that, if you don't package those demos and they are just in a buy object and people and your staff have mod rights and things like that, at least if they come to notice that the landmark's in there for an event and the event's long over, they can go in there and delete that landmark. You don't have to be, or they can change the name to remove that description that has that name of that item. But anyway, that's pretty much what we have to say about demos, I think. We've pretty much covered everything. So just to wrap it up, we've got, if you're going to charge 1L, let people know that they're going to be refunded, or just use a 0L buy option.
I just thought of something. Make that demo easy to find. Typically, they're in the ad for the store, but sometimes they don't put them in there, and they're putting them right next to the fat pack. And the packaging is identical. Don't like that at all. If you're going to have demos and fat packs, first you put it in your ad, please and thank you.
Yeah, if you're not going to put it in your ad, because that used to be a very hair-centric thing to put it in your ad, and then people started putting the fat packs in the ads, and people would buy the wrong things, and screaming would happen. But yeah, if you're going to have a demo and a fat pack next to each other, we always feel, because people did used to do that on purpose to catch people out. Yeah. Lucky there's things in place now that don't make that happen, but just separate them a bit. Also, if you're going to use alpha textures, make sure they're not overlapping. Control-Alt-T so that you make sure that things can be seen as separate. Also, just make sure it's named properly. So hover tips, we always talk about hover tips.
Oh yeah, hover tips.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you do want to put it in your vendor ad, but you're worried that it won't say vendor demo and people don't know, you can still do a prim that says demo and then just link those two prims together. So if people are like us and go straight for the image, they'll get a demo. If they go for the demo sign, they'll get a demo. Either way, they're covered. So that's just a handy tip.
I'm glad I remembered.
So yeah, demos. That's the way we want to wrap that up. We hope you've enjoyed listening to us. I'm Sasy Scarborough.
And I'm Whimsy Winx.